They were not supposed to do that. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was mid-sentence. The ANNPC chairman was watching. The cameras were rolling. And then, like a verdict that could not wait for the judge, thousands of voices tore through the ceremony with a single name. Not Kwankwaso, not ANNPC, Obi Kwankwaso. Over and over and over again in David Mark's face, on live television, loud enough to embarrass a script and honest enough to terrify a party. When a crowd interrupts its own leader to send a message to his new allies, you are no longer watching a political event. You are watching a people issue a warning. What you are watching unfold in these streets is the kind of political moment that gets buried in the morning noise if nobody is paying attention. This channel exists because someone has to pay attention. If you are not yet part of this community, now, right here, in the middle of this, is the moment to subscribe. What comes next in this story, you will not want to hear secondhand. This was not the first time. 3 separate occasions, 3 eruptions of the same chant, the same fire, the same refusal to be polite about what they want. A Salah event that was never meant to draw crowds, it drew crowds. A defection ceremony designed to signal Kwankwaso's new direction, his own people redirected it. And the Kano welcome itself, a city that does not stop for rain, shutting down entirely for a man from Anambra State. The fly that refuses to listen follows the corpse into the grave, but these northerners have been listening, watching, calculating, and they have calculated that Peter Obi is their answer, regardless of where his birth certificate was signed. Consider what was also present at that event and received nothing. Rotimi Amechi, former governor, former minister, presidential aspirant, stood in that same space. In Nigerian politics, presence commands acknowledgement. You enter a room with political weight, people respond. Amechi's supporters came. His credentials arrived before him. Kwankwaso's crowd looked through him as though he were furniture. Not hostility, something worse, indifference. In the political ledger, indifference is a debt that cannot be repaid. And then there is the absence that speaks loudest of all. Atiku Abubakar, a man who has spent the better part of 3 decades auditioning for Aso Rock, did not come to Kano. The North he believed belonged to him by inheritance watched in 2023 as a man from the Southeast pulled its youth away like a tide turning. Atiku built structures, Obi built belief. Structures can be bought, dismantled, rerouted. Belief chants in unison in front of party chairmen and does not apologize. Atiku stayed home, and in staying home, he said quietly what he will never say publicly. The calculation has changed. The people driving this are not political strategists. They are the parents of unemployed graduates. They are the farmers who sleep with one eye open. They are the generation that watched 2023's split vote swallow a moment that may never come again and felt that loss not as statistics but as a personal wound. They put tribalism in a drawer and locked it. They looked past the politics of religion and region and decided collectively to vote for their future instead of their fears. That is not noise. That is not performance. That is a movement conducting itself with the discipline of people who have run out of second chances. The ANPC must look at Kano and understand the PDP saw this exact movie in 2022. Their own people begged, protested, chanted for Peter Obi to be given the ticket. The party nodded, smiled, and handed it to Atiku. We know how that ended. Structures intact, victory nowhere to be found. The chant has been heard across this country. The streets of Kano already have their answer. Now comes the question that will echo into history. Will the party have the courage to honor what the grassroots have already decided?